The DGPT makes another huge announcement after the bombshell they dropped last week. Here's all the details on the DGPT's plans for post coverage, the expansion of Jomez, and some of our other favorite media providers no longer producing pro post round coverage on tour. It's Swiss Cheese, the one with all the holes in my game, alongside me, the one who doesn't, my nephew Jefferson. And we're with the Disc Golf World. Currently on the road in Franklin, Tennessee, making our way down to the Chess.com Invitational for yet another Pro Tour excursion, back living in the minivan.
The Disc Golf Pro Tour announced their post-production plan for the 2024 season just in time for the first event. So all of you who are still thinking free next day coverage would go away, you'll just have to wait one more year. Jomez will still be releasing next day YouTube coverage of the FPO and MPO league cards at all DGPT, DGPT Plus, DGPT Playoffs, and the DGPT Championship, as well as next day coverage for USWDGC, Champions Cup, and Worlds. However, for those events, it'll be available for DGN Pro subscribers on the Disc Golf Network, and then released 2 weeks after the event for free on YouTube. The president of Jomez, Jonathan Gomez, had this to say: "We're thrilled to continue with both FPO and MPO coverage this season, and Jomez Pro fans won't have to change their viewing habits this year. Being able to provide coverage of the European Open and USDGC wasn't possible in years past, but thanks to our deepened partnership with the DGPT, we're excited for the opportunity to return to Nokia and Rock Hill again this season." The new shift of focus for this year will be more set on the field and who's doing good rather than just the lead card, which I'm excited for because it's exactly what we've been saying Disc Golf has been missing. There's so much more to an event than just 4 people on top, especially when not all the time those people are still in the lead. If you want to tell the complete story of the tournament, you gotta touch on more of what happened. Some would even go out to say taking a page out of our book. But this is going to be a great thing for disc golf overall, if done right. The DGPT made an investment in expanding Jomez staff in order to cover more than just the typical MPO1 and FPO1 coverage we're used to. This expanded footage will provide fans with integrated coverage of the biggest moments, hot rounds, and highlights from the chase card and beyond. What does that mean exactly? Well, I don't know, but Swiss, we might just be out of a job. Which makes this a great time to say, please drop a like and subscribe so we don't have to live in a minivan for the rest of our life. No, that's not a joke. Not only were there additions to the Jomez staff at events and in the editing room, but they also be able to use select footage to include in their coverage to be able to have a visual attached to their expanded storytelling, which I can only hope is going to be something better than big German Yuli riffing back and forth. Gomez goes on to explain the full idea of their new philosophy. Our new strategy will allow us to focus our efforts on telling the story of the whole round, including all players, not just the story of a singular card. This means we can adjust our coverage to focus on the actions that matter the most, no matter where that action takes place. We're excited to tackle this challenge and provide fans with a singular place to catch all the relevant action each day. This sounds like a great idea. I mean, that's what we've been trying to do since day one, so I can't really hate on the concept. I'll be interested to see what they consider necessary to tell the story. I mean, they gotta get 40 minutes per 9 somehow. Also, not sure how these videos will be implemented. Will it be an expansion of the existing post coverage with more check-in style cuts, more like the CBS coverage, or are these going to be entirely separate videos? I can see reasonings for each, but I also see negatives, so I'm very curious to watch to see how it'll be done. Gatekeeper and Ace Run Productions will be returning to the Pro Tour, but in a new capacity. Ace Run decided to step down from dedicated FPO chase card, but it is exploring opportunities to create content at some other events. Gatekeeper has also decided to not travel as much this year, but will continue to post MPO chase card coverage for DGPT events using footage from DGN cameras, free on YouTube the week following each event. Not sure how many people will watch what appears to be less quality coverage of the people not in contention for the win. Also a week after the event is over. Not really setting up the video for success here, are we? Jeff Spring had this to say about the decisions made for the post-production plan. In planning for the 2024 season, we were looking for a way to continue working with our partners while recognizing that there was an opportunity for Jomez to expand their offerings and create a more complete product for fans. We are happy to find a solution that allows Gatekeeper to save money but keep producing content while not having to travel at each event. And we're excited to work with Ace Run Pro and opportunities outside of competition round coverage. I'll skip over the rest of the glazing Spring does for the DGPT and how much they helped each company get to the point they're at right now. I would like to hear what they have to say on the subject, but that's for another day. Don't worry, folks. GK will continue to post their Tour Series skid matches. No more reason to worry.
With this latest announcement that the DGPT, it has now been a string of posts and rollouts for the DGPT this upcoming 2024 season. DGPT has now expanded with the DGPT European Tour, separating from UDisc and partnering with PDGA Live Scoring, brand new tier subscription rollout, expansion of their post coverage with Jomez. Listen, I don't believe many will complain that Jomez will get some additional funding, more dedicated cameras, and provide a more full tournament story. Many, like myself included, grew with the sport through Jomez coverage. For a time, Jomez was the best product for tournament coverage that was available. So if you have been consuming this sport for any bit of a time period, the expansion of coverage to include more than just lead card is a win. You can't argue that having more cameras under the DGPT umbrella should produce better shot highlights, more drama, and better all-around coverage. Shit, it was just last twig that I complained about post-coverage limitations, and for the short time being, it seems to be answered. Now it is difficult to say what exactly this additional camera coverage and post-round tournament structure will look like. Some are speculating that Jomez coverage will look more like the post-round coverage that some saw on the CBS Sports broadcast of the World Championship, Throw Pink / USDGC, and now the Tour Championship. If true, that is a stark contrast to what most have experienced from past Jomez productions, and will miss the hole-by-hole structure that they are accustomed to. That being said, without the time limitations that the CBS Sports broadcast caused, if true, the Jomez broadcast could turn into a beefier, longer, and overall better, more accurate depiction of the entire day's events. If so, this could be a big win for the DGPT, but like their most recent subscription rollout, audience should expect some growing pains. And judging from all the comments from just the All-Star event, left them more angry than Mike was at Boner when he left for the Marines. Now, if DGPT and Jomez go the lazier route of keeping a similar structure while peppering in some more shot highlights or a few cutaways or more scoring updates, that would certainly be more disappointing. As much as the DGPT would love the community to herald this latest news as a win, it does come with some caveats. It has the loss of some familiar faces on tour, a couple of major post-coverage delays, and post-content coverage losses in Ace Run. That and not getting access to post-coverage of major events in the European Open, USDGC, and Throw Pink Championship for an entire 2 weeks certainly will impact many. They are the two largest events on tour, and trying to dodge spoilers for those tournaments for 2 weeks is impossible, even with Patches as your coach. Viewers can't blame DGPT and the PDGA's efforts to funnel viewership and ultimately the money that comes with it to their subscriptions for those events. But with an entire offseason of the DGPT gaining a tighter control of all aspects of entire professional disc golf, has many concern with when and where they will stop. Going further by speculating that with this expansion of post-coverage, Jomez will eventually be lumped into the DGPT's basic subscription plan and will no longer be free to the masses, which would not only be the end of an era, but the heart and soul of what Jomez was. And to be fair, it just might already be dead.
From what I've seen on social media from fans, it seems inevitable that Jomez will be going behind a paywall at some point. Some highlight the phrasing of this year's news suggesting this will be the last year. I'm not convinced of that yet. I still think there needs to be plenty more growth in the sport before we put all the free access to rest, because it's only a matter of time before we're cut out from what we're doing. It's hard not to look at this announcement as an opportunity to follow the same plan we're trying to do, except using every resource they have at their fingertips. This just means Swiss and I can stop holding back from being edgy if we still need a reason to be different. Although I still believe in what we can do, as long as the DGPT keeps letting us do what we do, I think disc golf is going to see some awesome growth. The important part is that we do it in the right way. Not only are we growing the sport and building a bigger base of fans, but we should be educating these beginners so they can understand more than what they can teach themselves. That's what I hope is reinforced in this new content strategy. Too often do I hear fans not know simple things about the sport. I mean that in not an attacking way. I swear I'm not a dick. But instead, there are a few outlets that break down disc golf to people. How are we going to expect everyone to do their own research and understand everything? If that were true, we'd have a lot less people throwing destroyers, that's for sure. Hopefully we can still provide that for you with this channel. I mean, would you rather read that entire article on yourself and try to interpret it? Or just sit back and let us figure that part out for you? I hope that's enough of a reason to drop a like and subscribe. I mean, it is the easiest way to support the channel after all. And just in time for the first tournament of the season, which you already know will be completely covered by the disc golf world, so you're not going to want to miss out.